Donald Trump has a history of criticizing the people that are brought to the White House by other presidents. President Obama is an example. The entire Republican Party went crazy when it appeared as though maybe President Obama was going to possibly open a dialogue with Fidel Castro. But President Obama never asked an admitted multiple murderer to come to the White House to hang out, which is exactly what Donald Trump did. He invited Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte to come visit him. Will Republicans say anything about this? Duterte has, of course, as I've told you about, received worldwide condemnation from most people. There's a couple people that like it, but for the most part, he's been condemned for sanctioning the completely extrajudicial killing of drug users and dealers in the Philippines. A White House release on Saturday said that Trump and Duterte had a, quote, friendly discussion about Southeast Asia and the drug war in the Philippines, and Trump requested that Duterte come to Washington, and Trump is looking forward to the visit. Remember that Duterte has admitted to, when he was mayor of, I forget the name of the town, he would just kill people on the street. And this is the guy, Pat, that Trump had a lovely conversation with and wants to visit with at the White House.
Yeah, it's a really tricky issue to comment on because you have to draw a line somewhere as to which leaders you should and shouldn't allow into the White House. So past presidents have met with leaders of the Soviet Union or Saudi Arabia, and even though it's controversial, maybe those meetings can be productive. But if you're going to draw a line somewhere, I think someone who is a rogue admitted murderer is where you should draw that line.
Or at least when you press release it, say, don't just paint a rosy picture of the relationship between Trump and this brutal killer. Say something like, even if it's not true, and of course we condemn the admissions, the killings that Duterte has admitted to casually, and we believe that it's an absolute atrocity. Human rights organizations have recorded over 1,400 murders of people involved with drugs in the Philippines, people who are supported by Duterte. Many of these murders have included homeless kids. And Duterte has said that up to 100,000 people suspected to be linked to drugs should be killed. And he actually likened himself to Hitler in the past. Remember when Rodrigo Duterte said, quote, "I'd be happy to slaughter them. At least if Germany had Hitler, the Philippines would have me." Trump is friendly with and is inviting for a visit a guy who said he could be like Hitler was to Germany.
And I don't know if you saw this yet, David, but Donald Trump said that he would be honored to meet with Kim Jong-un.
I saw that,
the North Korean dictator. So that's another one.
I assumed that, or I guess I do assume that if Rodrigo Duterte comes to the White House, they'd have Turkish President Erdogan Skype in or something like that. Because him and Kim Jong-un, and why not put Bashar al-Assad in there?
I think, though, with the time difference, it may be a little bit hard to coordinate on Skype.
My guess is that Kim Jong-un and Erdogan are keeping sort of bizarre day-to-day schedules. That's my guess. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. Drug wars are bad enough, but this is so far beyond that, what we're talking about Rodrigo Duterte participating in here. And don't forget that Trump also has clear and strong business ties in the Philippines. Trump's partner in building Trump Tower at Century City in Makati, Philippines, is a member of Duterte's administration. And yesterday we made some comparisons between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, sort of trying to figure out why would Donald Trump praise Kim Jong-un for just being handed power by his dad? Hint, hint, big similarities to Donald Trump. Duterte said last year, quote, "Just because you're a journalist, you were not exempted from assassination if you're a son of a bitch." And although Trump isn't calling for the murder of journalists, we are seeing him wanting to crack down on the First Amendment over stories that he doesn't like. And Duterte has also called Vladimir Putin his idol, which again, Donald Trump hasn't done, but he's been pretty deferential to Vladimir Putin. So I am actually, as shocking as it is at face value, I'm not hugely surprised that Trump has been praising Kim Jong-un and praising Vladimir Putin in certain instances and wanting to hang out with Rodrigo Duterte, who he has a great relationship with, praising President Erdogan in Turkey for his repressive actions. It sort of fits.
Yeah, I think he is a little bit jealous of these other world leaders who have less of a restraint on their ability to govern. I think he wishes that he was more of a king or a dictator because that's the role that suits his personality a little better.
And it's the role he's had in his business,
Yes.
right? And he came in thinking that he was going to run the government the same way he was running his business. Fortunately, that's at least not happening to the extent that Trump would like it to. And I'm digging pretty low here to find some kind of silver lining.